Okay. Now, it's an article from the Camden Journal. It was written on April 4th, 1849. Okay. This is just 11 years before the Civil War was fought, that was supposedly fought to free our great-great-grandparents from hundreds of years of slavery. Okay. So listen to this very carefully and read it with me and very carefully. Okay. It says, quote, "It has been asked, where do the captured Africans go? Who has charge of them? Are they sent back to their own country? We think we answer that question satisfactorily. They don't come to this country, that will be admitted. Now," end quote. Now this headline, this is headline news in 1849. This on the front page. Okay. And this is just 11 years before the Civil War, which was supposedly fought to free the African slaves. So they're making it very clear in this article that they don't want these captured Africans coming to America during the time of slavery. Okay. Now, they also state that they don't know who is in charge of them and they should get sent back. They don't know what to do with them. So how don't you know who's in charge of the African captive slaves? See, and this is, again, headline news, 1849, during slavery. Okay, but they did say we don't know who's in charge of them, and we don't know what they're going to do with them, but we do know we don't want them coming here. And where's here? To America. We don't want them coming here. Okay, now just think about that for a second before we go on, because the article continues. Okay, think about that for a quick second, and what does that tell you? Okay, so the article continues and it goes on to explain that there's some other countries where they could go and they'll be welcome in those other countries, but they're not going to be welcome. They ain't no captured Africans, right, going to be welcome in America. Okay, now the article continues, and I'm gonna just use, I'm not gonna read it verbatim. You can see it on the screen exactly what it says. Okay, all right. It says, quote, "No money, no N-word. Trinidad and Jamaica, having voted the needful, can have as many Africans as they please. Now, although these captured Africans are not called slaves, yet they are sent on plantations to work as slaves. It is a mere change of name without a change of principle." Source, Camden Journal, April 4th, 1849. So let's just think about that again for a couple seconds, okay? This article was written on April 4th, 1849, 11 years before the Civil War was fought. Was fought to supposedly free, right, the captured Africans, slaves, which are supposed to be our great-great-great-grandparents, right, who were captured as Africans and put on these giant boats, right, and sent to America to work on plantations as slaves, right? So if the narrative of history that we're all taught is true, and we're the great-great-great-grandchildren of the African slaves who were captives and were brought to America by the man, okay, then how come the man in his newspaper is asking what to do with the African slaves he supposedly done captured, right? That's supposed to be working on the plantation, right? In this newspaper in 1849, that's headline news on the front page asking, where do the African captives go? Okay? Well, how come he doesn't already know where the African captives go? Huh? How come he doesn't know where they go? Well, they're supposed to go work on plantations, right? They black African slaves who got captured, right? Okay? Right? How come he doesn't already know who's in charge, right, of the African slaves? Well, isn't it the man? The almighty slave master? We know who that is, right? Right? We know who that we know who they taught us that is. Right? Right? But the people who were there, they don't know. The people today, they teach us that they know what happened at this time during slavery. But the people who were there, they don't know. They're putting on headline news. There wasn't no television, wasn't no cable, wasn't no internet. If you wanted the news, you went to the newspaper. And whatever was on the front page was the biggest deal out of everything. So this is front page news. Okay? All right? If what we're taught about our history is really true, then they should know back during slavery exactly where the captured Africans should go, right? They should know that, right? They've been bringing them here for hundreds of years, remember? Right? They should know exactly who's in charge of them, but he don't know. Why? Because Africans, the more we study this and the more we start digging and finding out, African captives didn't start coming to America as slaves the way they tell the story until 1849. Okay? And the way they tell the story. And then further, why are they telling the people, right, who are reading this newspaper at the time, that it's their opinion that the captured Africans, who the author refers to as the N-word, right? He don't want them coming to America. He talking to them the way they talk about immigrants today. We don't care where they go, but we don't want them coming here, right? See? But I thought they already been coming here for 400 years as captured Africans. Again, it wouldn't be front page news in 1849, right? And they wouldn't be asking who's in charge of them if what they're telling you is the truth. Okay? These are supposed to be your ancestors, remember? Right? Right? See, we don't know the truth. We don't know the truth about who we are. And we don't know the truth about who we are as a nation. Okay? We don't really know. We don't understand that, brothers and sisters. Okay? That's how come. See, we get taught to think we're slaves from Africa, but the Africans didn't even start coming to America as slaves, right? That were working on plantations like that until 1849. Okay? The way they tell it. And then Abe Lincoln went to war to free the slaves just 11 years later, and they're asking what to do with them. Just 11 years later. Well, if you already done sent 20 million slaves over here as African captain, you should know exactly what to do. You ain't got to make a headline news to find out what we're supposed to do with these captive African slaves that's supposed to go working on a plantation. See, because they mix truth with a big fake story. Okay? See, they mixing some truth with some big fake story. Were there Africans who came over here as slaves? Absolutely. Right? It didn't start in 1619. It started in 1849. Okay? And there's a reason it started in 1849. Right? Right? But like I said, I can't give it all to you right now because it's way too big to give. But I need to give. I'm trying to give you a piece of it right now. Okay? Okay. See, when the man got here, what we don't know is we was already here. And some of us are starting to learn that, right? But we think we was like some Indians and just we was in the jungles and we wasn't doing nothing, you know. We was just with our bow and arrows and, you know, living off the land. We didn't know nothing except that. And that's just not true. See, that's just not true. Okay? See? The other thing that we don't know is that the man used to pay us rent to do business on our land. Okay? See, he wasn't allowed to be here without paying rent.